Some journeys don't begin when you land. They begin in the sky. This is the only way into Bhutan. Here, the modern world touches down gently, in a place that has deliberately chosen to remain timeless and apart. You feel it instantly, a deep sense of peace. The air is different here, carrying whispers of ancient prayers. These are not just fortresses, they are dzongs, the spiritual and administrative heart of every valley, standing guard for centuries. Every turn sends a prayer to the heavens. A simple, beautiful act of faith, repeated millions of times a day. As the sun sets on your first day, you realize Bhutan is not just a place you visit. It's a state of being. At 10,000 feet, you wait for the clouds to part, for a glimpse of the giants that guard this kingdom. And then, it happens. The mountains set themselves on fire. A sight that commands silence and absolute awe. Every valley is fed by its own rivers. In Punakha, the father and mother waters meet, a sacred union. To cross these bridges is an act of faith. You walk on a thread of steel, wrapped in a million prayers. For generations, the rhythm of life here has been tied to the land, to the planting and harvesting of rice. The mountains are covered in ancient forests, where mist and myths intertwine. Every step feels like entering another world. This is the lifeblood of the valleys, pure, powerful, and relentless. Water that begins its journey as Himalayan ice. Travel here is not measured in miles, but in hours and mountains crossed. Every road is a feat of engineering. From above, the clouds themselves become a river, pouring through the landscape and reshaping it in light and shadow. The heart of any culture can often be found in its market. Here in Thimphu, the main ingredient is fire. Archery is not just a sport in Bhutan, it is a celebration, a display of skill, pageantry, and warrior spirit. Inside the monasteries, time seems to stop. The air is filled with the sound of chanting, a living link to centuries of devotion. For some, the path is chosen early, a life dedicated not to the world outside, but to the universe within.
These are not just patterns, they are stories woven in thread, an art form passed down from mother to daughter. In a country that measures its wealth in happiness, the sound of children's laughter is the greatest treasure of all.
The Palace of Great Happiness. Punakha Dzong is more than a building. It's a masterpiece of Bhutanese spirit and craftsmanship.
Hospitality is a sacred duty. Here, a shared meal is a shared connection, always seasoned with warmth and fiery chilies.
The most sacred places require a pilgrimage. The journey to the tiger's nest is a test of endurance and faith. And then, you see it, a legend made real. Clinging to the cliffside between heaven and earth, the tiger's nest, the final approach. You cross the chasm, leaving the outside world behind, cleansed by the spray of a sacred waterfall. Some traditions may seem surprising. Here, symbols of fertility are painted with pride, warding off gossip and evil spirits. Overlooking the capital city, a giant Buddha sits in silent meditation. A symbol of the enduring
ancient crafts are kept alive by dedicated hands. This paper, made from a local shrub, has carried prayers for centuries.
During the Chechu festival, the gods come down to dance. Stories of good and evil are told in motion.
After a long journey, a traditional hot stone bath. Fire-heated river stones release their minerals into the water, a healing ritual. In the only capital city in the world without traffic lights, order is kept by a single man's graceful gestures. This is Phobjikha, a vast glacial valley protected for the sacred birds that are its most famous visitors. They fly here from the Tibetan plateau every winter. The heavenly birds, whose arrival is a blessing for the valley. The takin, a creature so unique, it's said a divine madman assembled it from the leftovers of a cow and a goat. To find the legendary blue poppy, you must climb to the roof of the world. A flower the color of the sky.
High above the valleys, life is simpler and harder. Nomadic herders move.
They are the true kings of these mountains. perfectly adapted, powerful, and gentle, the providers of everything the herders need. The weather here is a powerful force. In minutes, a peaceful sky can turn into a display of nature's fury. But after every storm, the mountains offer a gift, a promise of beauty. In the high country, when the sun disappears, a different world reveals itself. You are not looking up at the universe, you are in it. A single stick of incense, a simple offering, carrying a silent prayer on a column of fragrant smoke. As a new day begins, the world is reborn. The valleys sleep under a blanket of clouds, waiting for the sun.
In the end, it is not the mountains you remember most. It is the smiles, the warmth of the human heart.
Even in the most sacred of places, there is room for joy. A reminder that balance is the key to everything. The wind does not just blow here. It carries prayers. Millions of them. To leave Bhutan is to carry a piece of its peace with you. A quiet space you can return to in memory. It is a kingdom that chooses a different path. One guided not by wealth, but by wisdom, and a belief in light. A land of thunder dragons and quiet prayers. A kingdom of mountains. A place that reminds us that the most valuable treasures in our world are not the ones we can buy. But the story of Bhutan doesn't end in the settled valleys. To truly understand its heart, you must go east.
The journey east is not for the faint of heart. The roads are threads, clinging to the edge of the world.
This is Trashigang, the jewel of the East. For centuries, it was the gateway to Tibet and a bastion of power.
Here in the East, the threads tell different stories. The patterns are bolder, the colors drawn from the earth itself.
Higher still, in the land of the Brukpa people, live the semi-nomads of the East, a culture shaped by yaks and mountains. Their unique dress is a testament to their ingenuity. Everything they need is provided by the yak, their constant companion. Life here revolves around the yak. It provides milk, cheese, wool, and transport. It is the center of their world. Beyond the villages are the places of retreat, where monks seek enlightenment in absolute solitude. Protecting this wilderness is a constitutional mandate. These rangers are the guardians of a global treasure, patrolling its vastness. The country's fast-flowing rivers are its white gold. Hydroelectric power funds free education and healthcare for all its citizens. But the modern world is here. A new generation navigates the delicate balance between ancient tradition and global connectivity.
Remember, with education, you can achieve anything. Look at the mountains and dream big.
The journey turns south, descending from the cool highlands into the subtropical lowlands. A new world of wildlife awaits.
This is Royal Manas National Park, Bhutan's oldest protected area. A biodiversity hotspot.
Tigers, once thought to be vanishing, are thriving here. Their presence is a sign that the entire ecosystem is healthy. Here, ancient wildlife corridors are still intact, allowing giants like the elephant to roam freely as they have for millennia. And high in the canopy lives a primate found almost nowhere else on Earth. The golden langur, a creature of myth.
The reintroduction of the rhinoceros is another conservation success story. A prehistoric giant, back on its ancestral lands.
It is not just a vague idea. Gross national happiness is a sophisticated development framework, measuring progress in human terms.
Lift on 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it, bring it over here.
There is a wisdom here, born of silence and contemplation. An understanding that a meaningful life is not about having more. It is about leaving a better world for those who come next. A world that is balanced, just, and compassionate. The prayers on these flags are meant to fade, to dissolve into the universe. A symbol of life's beautiful impermanence. Bhutan is not a perfect place. It is a real place, facing real challenges. But it is also an idea that another way is possible. That progress does not have to mean destruction. that a nation can be a sanctuary. It is a sanctuary not just for wildlife, but for a different way of thinking. A reminder of what we all risk losing. A whisper from the roof of the world of what we could be if we... The relentless power of summer is frozen in time, a testament to the dramatic cycles of the high Himalayas. Life turns inward. Families gather around the Bukhari, the wood stove, sharing stories as the snow falls outside. But winter is also a time of joy, a time when the world is new, and even the most disciplined can't resist play. Spring is a time of work and celebration. The entire community comes together to plant the rice that will sustain them. The monsoon arrives with fury and grace, a life-giving force that replenishes the land and feeds the rivers. And after the rain, the world is washed clean. The greens are greener, and so the seasons turn. The gold of autumn is the reward for a year of hard work, a time of harvest and gratitude. In Bhutan, protecting the future is not just policy. It is a personal responsibility passed down to the youngest generation. Those who visit are asked not just to look, but to participate, to learn, to connect. The challenges of the modern world, like waste, are met with a traditional solution: collective responsibility, a shared duty. You come here expecting to see a beautiful country. You leave having seen a better way to live, a different perspective. It's a gift of blessing, a symbol of goodwill, a promise to carry the lessons of this place with you. The prayers never cease. In the sun, the wind, the mist, and the snow, a constant stream of hope. The world outside is getting faster, louder, more disconnected. Bhutan offers not an escape, but a question. What is the true meaning of development? Is it what we build, or is it what we choose not to destroy? The path forward may not be about giant leaps, but about a single, mindful step. For all our sakes. But the story of a place never truly ends. To understand its soul, you must look closer, into the hands of its creators. Thangka painting is not art, it is meditation. Every brushstroke a prayer, every color a sacred element of the universe. From raw wood, the spirits of the festival are born. These are not just masks, they are faces of the divine. In quiet studios, faith is given form. Clay and metal are transformed into objects of veneration, destined for the temples. Even the air itself is crafted with intention. The scent of the monasteries begins here, with herbs gathered from high meadows. But to find the last untouched places, you must leave the roads behind. We are preparing for the snowman trek. Considered the world's most difficult trek, it crosses 11 passes over 16,000 feet, a journey into the heart of the high Himalayas. Nights are spent in profound silence, under a universe of stars. You feel both incredibly small and deeply connected. Reaching a pass is a moment of rebirth. The struggle of the climb is forgotten in the face of what lies beyond. Every day brings new challenges. Rivers born from glaciers must be crossed, their icy water a shocking reminder of your remoteness. Weeks into the journey, you reach Laya, a world apart, home to a people whose culture is woven into these high peaks. The women of Laya are known for their striking beauty and their unique hats, a tradition passed down for generations.
While some seek enlightenment in solitude, others find it in celebration. Across Bhutan, the monasteries prepare for Chechu. These are not mere costumes. They are sacred relics, some centuries old, that transform the dancer into a deity. For the community, Chechu is the most important event of the year, a time to gather, to celebrate, and to be blessed. They come from all corners of the valley, dressed in their absolute finest. It is a spectacle of color and devotion. The thongdrel is unfurled only for a few hours at dawn. It is believed that a single glimpse can cleanse a lifetime of sins. The Atsaras, the divine clowns, provide comic relief, but their role is serious, to mirror our own follies and distractions. Each dance is a story, a ritual. The Black Hat dance purifies the ground, making way for the construction of a spiritual temple. And in the faces of the crowd, you see the true meaning of the festival. A shared experience of faith and community. The dances end, but their blessing remains. The community disperses, revitalized, their connection to their faith and each other reaffirmed. But there is another Bhutan, a wilder kingdom, ruled by creatures of legend.
Even the birds here seem to be dressed for a festival. The Himalayan monal, a living rainbow, flashes its colors in the morning sun.
The forest is not just a wilderness, it is a pharmacy. For centuries, traditional doctors have drawn their remedies from these plants. This is Sowa Rigpa, the science of healing, an ancient medical system where physical and spiritual health are inseparable. But even in this protected sanctuary, a global threat looms. As glaciers melt, these lakes swell, threatening catastrophic floods below. Bhutan is a living laboratory for climate change. Scientists work at extreme altitudes to understand the risks and protect the valleys below. The response to this threat is not just scientific, it is also spiritual. A belief that every prayer, every positive action matters. Perhaps Bhutan's greatest lesson is the power of stillness, the wisdom that can be found. It is a quiet confidence, a belief that their unique culture, their way of seeing the world, is worth preserving. It is a leadership based not on power, but on compassion, a deep, abiding love for their people and their land. Even offerings to the gods are crafted with breathtaking artistry. These butter sculptures are as beautiful as they are impermanent. From the forest comes the material for everyday life. Bamboo is woven into baskets, hats, and even the walls of homes. These mountains are full of sacred places, caves where legends were born, and where the lines between worlds are thin. Faith here is not an abstract concept. It is physical. It is felt in the body and expressed through action. The sacred traditions are passed not just in texts, but in moments like these. From the spiritual to the everyday, Bhutan is a land of vibrant intensity. Even the rooftops burn with color. Ancient wisdom is still the best guide. These bridges, built with community effort and ingenious design, have stood for centuries. Here, even the streams are put to work for a higher purpose. Turning the wheels of prayer, day and night, without ceasing. You try to write it all down. The sights, the sounds, the feelings. But some journeys are too big for words. They are journeys that change the way you see. Not just the world, but yourself. And the possibilities for our future. You leave the same way you arrived. Through a narrow door in the roof of the world. But you leave changed. The kingdom disappears beneath the clouds, returning to its mythic isolation, its work and its lessons continuing on. A reminder that even in a complex world, the essential truths of balance, compassion, and wisdom are simple, and they endure. Beyond the history of kings and fortresses lies another story. A story etched onto temple walls. He speaks of Beyul, hidden lands of peace and prosperity, concealed by the great masters, waiting to be rediscovered in times of need. Our goal is to follow one of these spiritual maps,
a pilgrimage to Ajane, a sacred Bayul hidden deep in the east. The path to a hidden land is not meant to be easy. It tests your body and your resolve. Legends say these passages test your spirit. The pure of heart pass through, while sinners are trapped for eternity. We arrive at a place of power, Mebarcho, the burning lake, a place where the spiritual world once broke through.
The great saint Pema Lingpa stood here, holding a single lamp.
He declared, "If I am a demon, I shall drown. If a true son of Guru Rinpoche, I will return with the treasure, my lamp still lit." The pilgrimage continues, to caves where saints meditated for years, leaving their mark not just on history, but on the rock itself. The pilgrims see signs everywhere. The rocks themselves become a sacred text, revealing the 100 holy syllables of the Guru. In these remote areas, ancient customs persist. A final act of generosity, returning the body to the cycle of nature. Before crossing a dangerous pass, offerings are made. A plea to the mountain god for safe passage through its domain.
Here, the land tells the story. Every rock, every cave, every mark on the landscape.
In remote villages, older traditions survive. The Pao acts as a bridge to the spirit world, seeking healing and balance. Protection is woven into the home itself. Amulets and blessed objects guard the threshold, keeping malevolent spirits at bay. For days, they build a palace for the gods, a map of the cosmos out of colored sand. An act of intense devotion, and after all that work, they destroy it. A profound lesson in the impermanence of all things, no matter how beautiful.
The collected sand is poured into the river, carrying the mandala's blessing downstream.
After weeks of walking, we finally arrive. Ajane, the sacred, hidden land. We are not alone. For the faithful, this journey is a life's ambition, a chance to walk on holy ground. You add your own small light to the thousands that have come before. A personal prayer, in a place of immense power. In their faces, you see the power of belief, a force that can move people across mountains and sustain them through hardship. This journey was not about finding a mythical paradise. It was about understanding that for some, the spiritual landscape is the real one. A world where every mountain has a name, every lake a guardian, and every valley a hidden story. For a few weeks each year, entire communities move to the high country to search for Cordyceps sinensis, the caterpillar fungus. Each one must be harvested with extreme care. A single, unbroken specimen can fetch a small fortune in the markets below. It is a hard life, lived at the limits of human endurance. But for these few weeks, it can change a family's fortune. After the hardship of the mountains, people come to the chachus, the sacred hot springs, to heal their bodies and minds. And every year, the country finds new ways to reveal its beauty. In spring, the ancient fortresses are draped in purple.
The future of Bhutan's artistic heritage is not left to chance. Here, the 13 traditional arts are taught to a new generation.
It requires years of training to master a single craft. A dedication to preserving beauty and skill in a fast-paced world. And yet, the pull of the outside world is undeniable. In the capital, a new generation is creating a hybrid culture. Ancient melodies are being reimagined with electric guitars. A new sound for a new Bhutan, still rooted in its own language.
And they are telling their own stories. A vibrant local film industry explores what it means to be Bhutanese in the 21st century.
In the National Archives, a nation's wisdom is preserved. Centuries of philosophy, poetry, and science, protected for the future. Perhaps the most telling view of Bhutan is from Spate, a small island of darkness in a sea of electric light. Here, science and spirituality are not in conflict. Both are seen as paths to understanding the same, wondrous universe. The future of gross national happiness lies in what is taught to the next generation. A reverence for all life.
It is a country of contrasts, ancient and modern, fiercely protected yet open to the world.
A question it asks the world every single day. What is the true measure of a life well lived? But what of the edges of the map, where Bhutan meets the sky? A final journey begins. At 17,000 feet, the world vanishes. There is no up, no down, only the next step. And then, the clouds part, revealing a valley that time has forgotten. The home of the Lunana nomads. Here, at the edge of the world, life is stripped to its essentials: shelter, family, and the herd that sustains them. Their faces are maps of the mountains themselves, carved by the same wind. Life begins before the sun. The first task, every day, is to draw life from the herd. Inside the tent, nothing is wasted. The milk is churned for hours to create the butter and cheese that will sustain them. In one of the harshest environments on Earth, children still find joy. Their playground is the roof of the world. Every spare moment is used, weaving the wool that will become their tents, their clothes, their blankets against the cold. Once a year, they make the long journey down to the valleys to trade their butter, cheese, and meat for salt and grain. Their temple is the sky, their monastery the tent. Faith is portable, carried with them, a constant source of strength. But their world is changing. The snows come later, the rains are more erratic. The pastures, their lifeblood, are starting to fail.
He says the mountain gods are angry. The glaciers, the locks of the sky, are melting. He fears for his grandchildren.
And another change is coming. The pull of the world below, of a different kind of life, grows stronger with every signal. For the children, they face an impossible choice: to preserve their ancient way of life, or to leave it forever. They decide to leave, to move the family to a village in the valley, so their children can go to school. It is a farewell not just to a family, but to a way of life that has endured for 1,000 years.
They walk towards a new life, and away from the only one they have ever known.
A home for generations, now just a memory on the wind. A silent testament to a vanishing world. He will learn to read and write. He will have opportunities his parents never did. But what will be forgotten? This is the challenge of Bhutan: to hold both of these worlds in their hands, to find a path that honors the past while embracing the future. A balancing act on the highest stage on Earth, a lesson in hope for us all.